Hello everybody, I am Shepels and welcome back to Let's Play Zombie Shooter. So we're back for 2 more rounds of survival. And at the end of the last part I was actually talking about one of my favourite games of all time, which is Hired Guns. And as I said, it's a game and you can play up to 4 players co-op. And when you're actually playing, the screen is the actual screen is split into 4 different views, where you're actually viewing through the eyes of each of the 4 characters that you choose. Like in single player, you'd control all 4 at the same time, which sounds harder than it is, but it's not that hard really once you get the hang of it. You know, it wasn't like Space Hulk where you're constantly getting attacked from all angles. It's not quite like that, so it's a bit easier to manage than Space Hulk was. And basically you have to, your mission is to go to this planet, and you have to basically secure the starport there, and the place is like overrun with masses of monsters and of all different kinds. You've even got killer lemmings in it as well, which is quite fun. And for its time, there was a certain creepiness about the game. There was times that it would actually creep me out as a kid, and it really unnerved me. You know, I think it was just the sounds that you could hear of monsters hatching out of their eggs and ready to come after you and things like that. And it was a great game because it did have some RPG aspects. It did have an experience system, things like that. I never really understood how experience came into it, whether it was that it made you slightly, gave you more health or something, I'm not sure. You could also go back to, there was a certain survival aspect of the game, in a sense. Like there'd be times where your ammunition would be low. You say you did a tough level and your ammunition was a bit low, you could actually go back and replay some previous levels and stock back up on ammunition and things like that. And it was really cool. It was a really well designed game. And there was supposed to be a sequel, but it never happened. It is on the wish list of GOG, but it's like nobody's ever heard of it. There's only about 55 people that have actually wished for it. So I don't really know why, because you know, it's a really good game. I just think that maybe I don't know, maybe by the time it was released, it just, you know, people started gone on from the Amiga, and you know, back then in Ireland anyway, very few people had computers, like actual PCs. You know, they sort of went with their Mega Drives and Super Nintendos, things like that. PCs, like, I didn't even hear of a thing called a fucking PC until I was about, I don't know, I would have been about 6 or 7. And even then it wasn't very common. Not like it is today where every household has a PC. You know, it's just one of those things, and Hired Guns was an exceptional game. It really was. It had an amazing atmosphere. Each level had this amazing sort of background ambience to it, and it would run shivers through you. It really would. And it was just such a good game. And I remember playing some of it again about 7 years ago, back when my Amiga did work, and it still sent that sort of unnerving chill down my back even as an adult. And it was really well done. It was a truly great game. I'd love to play it again, but I don't think that, you know, anything like GOG or Steam or anything like that is going to have higher guns anytime soon. So if it was the case that I wanted to do a let's play of it, which I really do, I'd probably have to set up an emulator. But as I said, I bought the game, so you know, I feel that it'd be okay for me to do a let's play of it through an emulator. I mean, like, most let's players use emulators at some stage. You know, it's something that people just use. I mean, on Yahtzee's Let's Drown Out, both Yahtzee and Gabriel use emulators for their sort of Let's Drown Outs, but it's always games that they have previously owned, or you know, they either play games that are available on GOG, or they'll emulate a game that they have previously owned, basically. So, you know, they kind of have the same frame of mind about emulators as I do, and yeah, so I don't mind. I'm definitely going to look into it. There is an actual program called what is it fucking called? There is an actual Amiga software emulator, and you can actually buy the emulator and everything else, and I've been looking into it, and I just cannot for the life of me remember its name. And when you buy the emulator, you get heaps of you get a good few games with it that you can emulate, and it's apparently really easy to use, and on top of that you get they give you websites where there's like lots of games that you can download to emulate using the software, things like that. I just cannot remember it. Can't remember what it was called. It's really annoying, actually. I'm sorry. I'll look into it, and I don't know. I'll announce it or something. But yeah, I've been kind of looking at it, and I've been looking at how it works and things like that, and it actually looks quite easy. As I said, I've never used an emulator or anything like that before, so you know, they do look complicating-ish. You know, they do look quite complicated. So, you know, I might go with that because you know, it's 100% legal and that. So, you know, I might go ahead with that and just use the websites that they provided and that. But, you know, I don't know. I think everybody has their own views on emulators and whether they are good or not good, or you know, or whether it's wrong to use them. I don't know. As I said, I have my own opinion where I believe it's okay to emulate a game that you have owned at some stage because you bought it, you know, or it was bought for you by a family member or your parents or friends or whatever, you know. So yeah, I deem it okay then. So that's my opinion. But either way, I'm gonna be doing, you know, I am rambling on about it now, but either way, I'm gonna be doing let's plays of all their games. I always try to get them on GOG or something first, but if I can't, I'd probably then emulate them. It just depends on how close they are to having a chance at being released on GOG, because you can check by the wishlist. Like, GOG literally works in a sense that it often goes by votes. people's, like, you know, how many people wish for a particular game. It kind of works that way, but at the same time, like some of the higher games that are wished for, they, like, GOG have to get permission from the original developers and everything, and they need to get all the files and everything. You know, there is legal sort of things, you know. GOG still have to abide the law, and that's why it took so long for System Shock 2 to actually get onto GOG. They had to work around getting the rights to do it, so that's why it took so long for GOG to actually get System Shock on. And it was the same with Steam. I mean, like, in order for it to be available on Steam, I think Valve had to go through the same rigmarole as GOG, because System Shock 2 is one of those games that it's legendary. I've never played it, but it's one that I am going to play. I'm going to do a Let's Play of it too. And if I could, I'd play the first one too. But System Shock 2 is one of those games that just everybody wants it, and at the same time, every game digital download site wants to host it. So, you know, everybody was kind of battling for it as well, and, you know, there was a lot of this, and eventually, you know, the developers sort of said, yeah, okay, you can do it. I don't know exactly how it went, because as far as I know, it wasn't under 2K back then. You know, so I don't know the whole legal rigmarole that was involved in getting System Shock 2 actually put on to digital distribution. I don't know. But, you know, and it's probably the same with a lot of the very high games that are on the wish list on GOG. Like, at the end of the day, before GOG can put any games on there, they have to get permission from, you know, from the developers, the people that created it. Generally speaking, they do have to get permission somehow. They can't just, you can't just, no matter how old a game is, or if it's abandonware or not, before you can legally sell it on your site, you need to have permission from the owners. You know, that's the way the business works. That's the way the copyright works. So, you know, but they are doing the very best that they can. Like a lot of people want Diablo 1 and 2 on GOG, but I'll be honest, that is not gonna happen anytime soon. I can't imagine Blizzard releasing Diablo 1 and 2 for digital distribution on GOG. I'm not sure if it's on Steam or not. It's something I never really bothered, because I have hard copies of both of them, but, you know, it won't ever be easy for GOG to get their hands on it anyway, because GOG are relatively small compared to the likes of Steam. Even Desura is pretty fucking big, you know. So, you know, it's not easy. Like, GOG are the small guys, and the reason that also some companies wouldn't allow GOG to have their game is because GOG are completely DRM free, whilst Desura and Steam, they have DRM in the sense that you have to log in to play. So it'd be easier in that sense for them to get certain games, but that's just the way that it is, and that is also the way I think with what happened with Fallout as well, because Fallout actually was put on line for distribution by Interplay. Fallout 1, 2 and Tactics. It was actually put up by Interplay before Bethesda bought Interplay out and gained the rights to the franchise of Fallout. And since you can, like, Fallouts have been taken off of Steam, they've been taken off of GOG as well, and I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know whether they are going to go back up under Bethesda. I don't know. It's a bit hush hush at the moment. There has been rumour that it's because Bethesda want to basically make the Fallout games through their own DRM system, or through DRM of their own or something like that. There's a lot of rumours going around as to why it's happened. But you know, I mean, like, I know a lot of it's to do with the fact of the change of ownership and franchise, and that's what a lot of it's to do with. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know when we're ever going to see Fallout again available. But you know, I find that Fallout runs pretty fucking well on all modern machines anyway. So all you gotta do is just get yourself a hard copy and it should run like a beast. I mean, when I was doing Let's Plays of Fallout and Fallout 2, I was running on my machine off a hard copy and it ran like a fucking beast. It ran really well. So, you know, if it is a case that you want to get the game, go on eBay and get yourself a hard copy. Like there is a triple pack out, and it's got Fallout 1, 2 and Tactics in it, and you can get it. I bought it in my local GameStop for €10, I think it was, for all 3 games. There just last year. So yeah, it's definitely, you know, for €10 for 3 games, where can you go wrong? The local GameStop here actually still has a PC section. Not much, but it does have a PC section. But apparently a lot of GameStops around the world don't actually have a PC section anymore. Some of them don't. I think it's in America they don't, I'm not sure. They don't really bother with a PC section anymore. I think we have, I don't know whether it's in any other country, but Activision, I think they're pretty Irish. There's a film rental company called Activision, and they rent out, you know, console games as well, and they also sell. They've actually been integrated into HMV, or HMV was integrated into them, one or the other, I'm not sure which. But they're going under both, under Activision and HMV now. But even they've got this one little stand, you know, those stands that are completely circular and you can basically just pull them and they sort of spin around. They can see it in libraries and bookshops and things like that. All Activision have is literally one of them. They don't even have, you know, a proper shelving for it. You know, that's it just goes to show, like, the retail side of PC gaming is gone, and I think that probably eventually all retail gaming is going to be gone. I don't know, it might not happen within the next 7 or 8 years, but it is going to happen. And the likes of, you know, all the big companies and and everything. They want to get rid of retail. They want to get rid of second hands as well. They want to get rid of pre-owned gaming. They want to get rid of all of that because like they don't make any money out of pre-owned games. You know, the actual retail stores make money out of that. So they're trying to get rid of pre-owned gaming so that nobody can just get a pre-owned game, and if they want to play a game they have to buy it new. So, you know, so that they make the maximum money that they can out of it. So, you know, it's something that they're trying to do. I don't know how successful they're going to be with it. You know, I was actually talking to the guy that works in GameStop. I've actually known him for a while now, and he said, like, even he believes that there won't be such a thing as, you know, CDs anymore within the next 10 years. He even said that himself. He reckons that, you know, it'll be all online, all online registration, things like that, which is bullshit in my case. Like, I miss the days of getting these big, overly fucking oversized boxes. That's what I miss. You know, those big ass boxes, big wood, you know, cardboard boxes, and they had like tons of books and shit in them, and a manual that was about the size of a fucking Harry Potter book. One of the later Harry Potter books. You know, it was massive in size, and it had every bloody language in it, and it had like all the European languages in it. It would have, you know, well, all the mainstream European languages anyway. And it would have, you know, every bit of detail from the backstory to, you know, all the enemies and detailed information about them, and, you know, it was fucking awesome. You know, it was those game manuals used to be my bedtime reading, because like the old games, like old RPGs, were much harder. You got fuck all tutorial help. It was just a case of, right, you're on your own now, boy. Off you go. And it was a case of kind of having to read the manuals back then, and I really enjoyed it. It was something that I just genuinely enjoyed doing, and it's something that I do miss, as opposed to you go into a store now, you open your fucking box and all you get is a fucking advertisement slip. One little piece of paper that's for advertising a new DVD, or advertising this or that, or, you know, it's not the same. But that's the way that gaming has gone, you know, and DVDs are the same, you know. But anyway, that is the end of my 4 attempts at survival mode, and in the next part we're going to do 2 attempts at gun stand, and then we are done with Zombie Shooter, and I'll be moving on to Zombie Shooter 2. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. I really hope that you've enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and have fun.